Welcome back to FactSphere 86, where we explore the deepest mysteries of faith, history, and the divine. Today, we're tackling a question that feels almost dangerous to ask, a question older than time itself. Can a mere mortal truly rob God? It's a concept that shakes the very foundations of belief. And we're not talking about stealing gold from a temple or silver from an offering plate. We're talking about something far more profound: loyalty, devotion, and the unseen transactions that happen every day between humanity and the divine. So, let's journey together into this incredible mystery. Our story begins with an ancient text, a message delivered by a prophet named Malachi. Imagine the scene: a slow zoom on an open Bible, and a single verse seems to glow with an inner light. It's Malachi chapter 3, verse 8. The words are sharp, direct, and utterly shocking. God, speaking through his prophet, asks, "Will a man rob God? Yet you have robbed me." The people are stunned, confused. They reply, "But how have we robbed you?" And the answer comes back: in tithes and offerings. For centuries, this passage has echoed from pulpits and podiums, a spiritual thunderclap. It wasn't just a simple accusation. It was a mirror held up to the soul of an entire nation, forcing them to look at their own hearts. But what does it really mean to rob God? Is it even possible? Can we, as fragile, fleeting beings, mere dust and breath, actually steal something from the eternal, the one who created everything? This question forces us to confront our relationship with the very source of our existence. Is it about money? Or is it about something we can't see, something far more valuable? Let's explore the first side of this argument: the case that yes, a human being absolutely can rob God. Many theologians and thinkers throughout history have argued this point compellingly. They say it's not about taking God's power or dethroning him from his celestial throne. That's impossible. Instead, it's about robbing him of his due honor, his rightful place in our lives, and his share of our obedience. Think about it this way: everything we have, our talents, our time, our very breath, is a gift. According to this view, every time we take these divine gifts and spend them on things that pull us away from our higher purpose, chasing fame, accumulating wealth for greed's sake, getting lost in shallow distractions, we are in a sense robbing heaven of its reflection here on earth. Imagine a montage of scenes: crowds desperately chasing after fleeting status and material possessions. Picture houses of worship filled with loud, empty rituals but lacking any genuine devotion. See ancient priests lifting hollow offerings to silent altars, just going through the motions. In all these scenarios, something is being withheld. Proponents of this idea say that God's greatest treasure isn't gold or elaborate sacrifices. It's relationship. It's the intimate connection he desires with each of us. And when we replace that faith with our own pride, when we swap gratitude for a sense of entitlement, we are snatching away the very intimacy he seeks. So, in this light, robbing God isn't a financial crime. It's a crime of the heart. It's about withholding our trust, our love, our loyalty. It's about giving our ultimate allegiance to everything and anything except the one who gave us life in the first place. It's a profound betrayal, a theft of relationship. Now, let's flip the coin and consider the other side, which declares boldly, no, a mere mortal cannot possibly rob God. How can the finite steal from the infinite? How can a creation ever impoverish its creator? It seems logically absurd. Think of the words from the Psalms: "The earth is the Lord's, and everything in it." This perspective argues that God owns it all. He is complete, self-sufficient, and lacks nothing. Our actions, whether good or bad, cannot add to or subtract from his essential being. Even the collective rebellion of all humanity cannot diminish his majesty. The sun will still rise tomorrow. The stars will continue their silent, cosmic dance. God loses absolutely nothing, even when we turn our backs and walk away. So what about that verse in Malachi? Those who hold this view suggest it's a powerful metaphor. They argue that calling it robbery is a spiritual idiom, a figure of speech designed to awaken a sense of responsibility and guilt in the hearts of the people. It's not meant to be a literal description of reality. It's a wake-up call, not a police report. Because the deeper truth, they say, is this: God cannot be robbed. His very nature is to give. He gives freely, endlessly, not because he has a deficit to fill, but because giving is who he is. He is an overflowing fountain of life and blessing. Even when we hoard our resources, even when we hide our faces from him, he remains full, complete, and unbroken. So if it's not really theft, then what is it? Perhaps the accusation in Malachi was never about stolen goods. Perhaps it was about a stolen connection. Perhaps it was, and has always been, about love. And this brings us to the heart of the matter, to a divine paradox that is both beautiful and baffling. Here lies the central mystery. God, who cannot be robbed, allows himself to feel robbed. But why? Why would an all-powerful, all-sufficient being choose to experience the ache of loss? The answer, it seems, is found in one word: love. True love, by its very nature, chooses vulnerability. A parent's heart can ache, not because their child stole $20 from their wallet, but because the child has distanced themselves, breaking trust and relationship. The pain isn't about the lost property, it's about the lost person. When God spoke through the prophet Malachi, he wasn't acting like a celestial accountant worried about his bottom line. He was speaking like a heartbroken father pleading for his children to come home. The very next line in that chapter reveals his true motive. Return to me, and I will return to you. In those few words, you can find the entire story of redemption. It's not a demand for payment, but a divine invitation to restore what distance, doubt, and pride have broken. It's a call to close the gap that we created. So yes, maybe in a profound, spiritual sense, we can rob God, not of his power, but of his presence in our lives, not of his riches, but of the relationship he longs to have with us. And in an act of incredible grace, he offers us the path to restoration, not through punishment, but through mercy. He doesn't demand we pay him back. He simply asks us to come back. So, after exploring both sides, what's the big takeaway from this ancient question? What can we learn from this divine drama? The lesson seems to be that this isn't about our bank accounts, it's about our hearts. We rob God every time we withhold the very things that make us most human and reflect our divine origin: compassion, justice, truth, and gratitude. When we see a need and do nothing, when we choose dishonesty over integrity, when we take our blessings for granted, that is the essence of the theft. But the good news is the inverse is also true. We honor God every time we choose to return, every time we extend forgiveness to someone who has wronged us, every time we act with kindness, speak the truth, and live with a spirit of gratitude, remembering that every single breath we take is a gift. Ultimately, to rob God is to forget who we are and whose we are. But to honor God is to awaken to the magnificent purpose for which we were made. It's about remembering that our lives have meaning beyond our own selfish desires. So, we come back to our original question: can a mere mortal rob God? The answer, as it turns out, isn't found in your wallet, but in your heart. The measurement of this spiritual robbery isn't in currency, but in connection. And maybe, just maybe, the real question we should be asking is this: in our choices, have we truly robbed God? Or have we simply robbed ourselves of the joy, peace, and purpose that comes from a relationship with him? This is Factsphere 86, and you've just walked with us through the incredible mystery between heaven and earth. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you enjoy exploring these divine enigmas and uncovering hidden truths, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. There are so many more secrets waiting to be unveiled. We'll see you next time.